Let's do some triples or some bullshit.
All right, about to do some squats. We're here today with Bryce Lewis, who's right over there.
Hey.
He's right over there. That's him. That's Bryce Lewis, Denver, Colorado.
Yep.
He moved there for the weed. Don't let him kid you. The timing happened to work out really well for him. But Bryce just finished up a meet where he went 9 for 9. He's been doing some awesome stuff. He works with a lot of great athletes. He's somebody you definitely want to check out on the Instagrams, on the interwebs, and someone that we're really excited to have here today. We're doing some squats with him. These guys did some deadlifts with him, and tomorrow we'll be benching. He's going to show us some warm-up stuff, take us through a bunch of different things, and hopefully we can all learn some shit from each other.
Hey.
You squat a pretty high bar, yeah?
Yeah.
You ever train low bar?
I did. For a full training cycle, we tried to introduce more low bar, and at the end of it, it looked all right, but the max never matched up to what I can do high bar.
Yeah. Do you feel any strength in your back or anything, leaning over a little more? Or?
I'm trying to squat over here.
Let's go! Should we do a Flex Magazine picture where we're like...
Yeah. Oh, I need cut-off shorts and sunglasses and a fanny pack.
Your diaper might do it.
Use them legs, baby. You asked for a camera here. There's one here. Now you gotta just start working out. He won't lift without a camera. You believe that, Bryce? Are you the same way?
Well, he asked for a camera?
Yeah.
Is that shit on? I just did 315.
It's 325.
When I first started filming my workouts, every time I would turn the camera on, my heart rate would go up.
Yeah,
that's great.
Speed gets so much better.
Like, oh God, do I look good? Like,
yeah.
Is it at the right angle?
Hey, it works.
And you guys have heard of that new thing called Periscope?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. The first session I used that, I'm like, who's watching me? Like, what's going on?
Probably just Fat Dan from our gym.
All you gotta do is fucking squat, deadlift, and bench.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Keep watching that for 10 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
So far it's worked.
Probably so.
You're bringing a unicycle. You try to ride a fucking unicycle.
I know a guy
we gotta drop
who
this
rides
one
unicycle.
You know a guy.
Yeah.
A unicycle
Yeah,
guy?
he wears the compression cuffs on his knees when he's doing it. Amazing.
Oh, I think you showed me a video.
Yeah. Yeah, he was at the San Jose Fit Expo.
Yeah.
He's like, I love these things. They're great for my unicycle. I was like, what?
It's really stepped up my clown game.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's amazing. Them squats. Oh my God.
Say when.
That's fine. So,
What?
typically, it's like one fart per every other rep. But
that's
what you're going
working
to
weight.
see
You gotta periodize.
for Jesse is 2 farts per rep. Yeah, normally.
That's the future method?
That's how you can tell he breaks parallel. He does 2.
And you actually shit his pants.
Who did? Oh yeah, he's deadlifting, right?
Yeah.
Sharded himself.
Oh no. Really?
So you're USAPL IPF, yeah?
Yep.
How much is depth a worry for you in your training?
In my own squat, it's no worry at all because the way I squat generally is pretty darn deep. But they're pretty darn strict with depth, which honestly, if there's a rule book, I think we should follow it. If we're judging depth at all, we should be judging depth. So passing high stuff is only going to make the sport worse overall, in my opinion. But from my experience, they've been pretty strict.
Yeah. How do you account for that in your clients' training? And I mean, I think a lot of people will, especially in kind of a group situation, not necessarily be as honest as they need to be with people, and people are going to squat a little bit higher in the gym, then they're going to get to the, and this isn't anything new, this has been going on forever, they're going to squat a little bit higher once they get to the meet. How as a coach do you kind of plan for that? And I mean, are you honest, or you say, oh, that was good, but next time we need to make sure we're hitting depth? I mean, do you, like, if you're progressing them, like, okay, we're going to hit an RPE of 8 for a set of 2 or 3, and they're an inch too high where you would like, do you backtrack a week, say, hey, I need you to hit depth on these, or you just kind of say, fuck it, keep on rolling, and well, you've never missed depth in a meet before.
Right.
How do you kind of account for that, both personally and for your clients?
So especially for clients, it's a conversation that we have to have because it's going to look bad on them. They're going to have a bad experience overall.
Ultimately,
it's going to look bad on us. Exactly. So
Who's us?
the strength athlete, yeah. So I own a company with 4 other coaches called the Strength Athlete, and we work with somewhere around 120 athletes around the world. And being that we judge athletes non-locally, distance athletes, we ask for video footage on a pretty regular basis from our athletes. So anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes of mostly their squatting, benching, and deadlifting, sometimes other assistant stuff, but we get a chance to see depth on a pretty regular basis and have to come up with them and have that conversation. Like, you know, you need to get lower, and sometimes it's a technical issue. We just need to change some things around with cues or getting them to feel where depth is, or sometimes it requires extra mobility work or something. But that's definitely a priority because it's only going to end up worse for them overall.
How often do you have to have that conversation with people?
You know, it's not as often as you think.
Good.
People probably come
With raw
to us.
lifting, you kind of have to go a certain depth to get some rebound back upwards. So,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to put a number on it as far as the number of athletes we have to talk about depth with.
Right.
But it raises its head every now and then, and you know, they're not like, oh, that was high. You're like, what are you saying? They're pretty honest about it too, and we can take a look at the video and be like, look, it's high.
Right.
And it helps too that a few of the coaches in our coaching group are referees themselves, so we have a little bit more credibility when it comes to saying, hey, that was high, because I would give it a red light in competition. Speaking of which, if you guys are interested in powerlifting, make sure you get involved in your sport, become referees, become volunteers, get active, because giving back to the sport is kind of what helps it grow. So we really need more volunteers in all parts of powerlifting.
As your own lifting's gotten better, have you noticed increase in clientele and perhaps maybe your coaches, do they lift as well?
Yeah, they all lift and they're all active competitors. One of them is an active bodybuilding competitor. Everyone else competes in powerlifting as well. Chris Aiden, Hanny Jazzarelli, Eric Bodhorn, and Reed Frisbee. And we have an intern as well. So
Frisbee, that's awesome.
Reed Frisbee,
Great.
that's right.
I want him to be my coach just because.
What were we saying?
Just have you noticed an increase in clientele just by you kicking ass?
It's been slow. We expect to have a pretty good turnout at Raw Nationals this year. I think we're fielding a team with somewhere around 30 athletes, which is our first time entering as a team into a national competition. And if athletes do well, I mean, it tends to look well on us as a company too. So it's been slow, it's been steady, and we're right where we want to be.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
You want to line me up a little bit?
Yeah, make sure you're not cockeyed. Good, you look dead center.
Good grunt at the top. Yeah.
Oh, Mikey.
Yeah. Spot right here. Nice.
There you go.
Yeah.
So what are you telling Mike to do there?
So, at least in his warm-ups, I noticed you have a tendency to dip down a little bit. Because you're low bar, you can kind of drive into the bar a little bit better. But if you tend to spot an object off in the distance or keep your gaze or even the top few vertebrae a little more elevated than you normally would, you end up with better technique overall and a better drive.
Do you like eyes and head on horizon?
Yeah, exactly. I hate to use the term chest up, but what we're looking for is something similar to that.
Yeah.
But what we want is chest up.
How'd you come up with your stance with? You're pretty narrow, especially compared to like Mark and Jesse.
Yeah. So early on, when I was still doing bodybuilding, I idolized.
Bodybuilding.
I idolized a lot of the Olympic lifters and their technique. They made everything look so pretty and effortless. So I ended up trying to copy them. And generally, one of the things I suggest a lot of people do is find someone who has like the golden version of whatever the technique you're after is, and try to emulate it. It ended up working really, really well for me. And
Who did you pick as your person to try and emulate?
it wasn't anyone specific. Actually,
So you didn't take your own advice.
It was a random video of a guy that just made a set of squats look super good. High bar, full to depth, strong, knees tracking right over the foot. It's just like, it looked perfect. And I've kind of come up with a collection of those clips over time and refer to them over and over again. Same thing with deadlift and bench press.
So whenever your squat kind of feels weird, or maybe you didn't have a great session, you'll go back and refer to those, what actually kind of got you started and got you moving?
Sometimes.
That's awesome.
Sometimes overthinking just makes it worse.
Yes, that's very true.
I've noticed that in my own training.
Yeah.
Overanalyzing and trying to change what your body has become so efficient at doing.
Now, since you guys are so analytical with all your numbers and everything, does that kind of correlate to a certain time in your training block, or your certain, as you're kind of moving, or like, oh, I'm supposed to hit X and it felt like crap.
Yeah.
So, I mean, now it's time to, okay, that means I need to auto-regulate. I need to pull this or that back. So, I mean, anytime that you kind of start to overthink, does that mean like, okay, I need to really kind of dial the volume down a little bit because I'm not focusing in on my core lifts, et cetera?
Yeah. So especially as you close in toward a meet, if we're like 3 weeks out and you're still feeling beat up, and the plan is to continue to push a little bit longer, maybe we'll back off from what we've got listed and make sure the athlete is fresh and ready for competition instead of going in beat up.
Right.
Because the last thing you want to do is be under-recovered by the time you have to hit the platform. It's just not the time for it.
Right.
So yeah, it's just a matter of making sure that we know when that is. However, if you're in the middle of a training block, 10 weeks out, it's okay to feel beat up. You don't have to perform. There's no pressure to perform, so you just train in a fatigued state, and sometimes that's what's necessary to progress.
Good.
Do you have a drinking fountain?
No. Can you get him a shaker cup?
I thought you said Jaeger for a second.
Yeah.
Get him some Jägermeister.
A Jaeger fountain?
He'll feel great.
Man, that would be horrible.
Get him some Goldschlager. He'll feel awesome. Hey, man, whatever you're into, dude. Come on, Burdick. There you go. We get him moving now. Yeah, buddy. I'm sweating like a pig in church.
Holla.
Wait, what? Is it my turn?
Yeah, what do you want?
Just a 10 would be good.
This is really beat up. It feels really lived in.
Yep, it's brand new.
What'd you do differently?
I can't tell you that. How can I? No. It's just a certain treatment.
Thank you so much.
It's just a certain style of treatment to the belt.
Cool.
That has it basically pre-broken in, so you don't have to spend
So
15
a
years
fleet
of
of
your
cars consistently running over.
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. In Pakistan.
Yep.
Yeah. Here we go. Squats, squats, more squats.
Here we go, Mark.
Come on, Bale.
There you go.
Whew. Come on, Mike. There you go. There you go, Mike. Yep. Good.
Here we go.
Here you go, Bryce. Come on now. Get it moving.
There you go.
Nice. Good bar speed there. There you go. Come on. Last one. Good. Nice work.
So you're usually working out alone and in your basement.
Yeah.
How's that? How's the atmosphere a little bit different when you got a crew of people around? How do you find kind of the motivation when you're alone, and who do you talk to?
It's a little bit. So when I train alone, it's more just get the sets done. Sometimes I'm checking my phone or something like that, or taking video. But it's definitely so much different than an environment like this. We have people to chat about with and train with. We have that encouraging environment. It'd be a lot more fun to have a consistent group of people like that, but I just chose the home gym because it was convenient and cut down on commute time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I love having people over and getting in training sessions with other people.
Nice. You have a special self-hatred to be that good by yourself.
Oh yeah.
Here we go.
There you go, Jess. Come on.
A little lower. Yeah.
My turn. Yay.
Do I get the squat now?
Yeah, same weight's good.
Yeah, that's one of the nice things about training by yourself. You can finish in like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Training with other people, it's like your turn, your turn, your turn.
Yeah.
But if I want to hit big lifts, it's always I got to be with other people and get a little energy in the atmosphere.
Yeah, hard to
What do you do
fire
for
up.
that? You try to
There's a
call
local,
up a buddy or something? And
there's a gym nearby that I go to, or I'll
Yeah.
hit up some friends and be like, hey,
Cool.
I got a big lift this Saturday. Let's all meet up or something.
like you did a 675 for 3 in training recently. Was that just at like a local gym?
Yeah, no, that one was at my house.
Yeah.
But I did an AMRAP set of like 620 for 11 or something before, and 585 for a triple on squats is with a bunch of people.
Cool.
It makes a difference. It really does.
Yeah, get some people screaming at you.
Yeah. There's only so much amp up you can do
Yeah.
in a basement by yourself. Unless, like Jesse said, you got a special kind of hate for yourself.
Yep. It's always impressive, you know?
Chushir comes to mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time.
Dan
Big
Green
time.
used to kind of be like that.
Yeah. It's amazing. Those guys are just have such a hard singular focus that they could be doing in the middle of a circus. They wouldn't even know what the hell's going on anyways.
Yeah.
Okay. That's up to continuity.
Continent what?
Huh? Continuity. Like Braveheart, when Mel Gibson's running with an axe, and then he's running with a sword, and then he's running with nothing. Then he's running with a turkey baster. His paint is long on this side and short on this side.
Got it.
Long on this side, short on that side. Continuity. Remember the conch?
This is conch cell.
Remember that girl whipped out her conch at the CrossFit Games?
Showed us her conch. Mm-hmm. That was a nice conch. Might have been an underage conch.
She wanted you to blow on her conch. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like I missed something over here.
Nothing of importance.
What was that word? She had a word that you're supposed to say into the conch.
Conch? Oh, I didn't hear. I was talking to her,
The conjugate method?
The conjugate method.
I was talking to her mom.
Come on, Belle. Tight up her back.
Yeah.
Come on.
There you go. Brace.
Woo! Oh, my butthole.
Butthole
Yeah, I saw
indeed.
it. I winked at Bryce.
Yeah. A little bit gaping at this point, but
Butthole wink's a little bit different than butt wink.
I've been in the game for a long time. Different things are going to happen.
Wow.
That's
Still working the kinks out on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Back of your shirt is like
Just looked like someone died.
yes.
covered, yeah.
Had my period.
Let's go, Mike.
Again.
I still have an Inzer belt that makes my clothes red. 16 years old.
Damn.
Come on, Michael. So I'll get you before you go squat.
Sure.
So when you see someone who whose squat ass is coming up first.
Yeah.
Was immediately the first thing that you think, and then the first thing that you're going to recommend to them to do as a client to kind of fix that?
So the number one thing we look at is leverages first to find out, is this something as far as the muscular imbalance, or is this something just inherent in their leverages? Like, tons of great squatters end up pretty leaned over in the squat. I mean, if we look at the 93 kilo squat champion, Lane Norton, right now, he's got a pretty darn leaned over squat, but he just hits
683, 88?
Yeah, something right around, no, 660 something. It was right up there.
661.
It was a little higher than that because that was the old record.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, so is it leverages or is it something inherent that we have to fix? And if it's something inherent that we have to fix, we look primarily at quads and posterior chain strength as the number 1 and 2 things that we have to fix. So extra leg pressing, extra glute bridges, RDLs, stiff-legged deadlifts, things like that, and trying to translate those into the squat. So sometimes pause reps will do good, sometimes tempo reps, things like that as well. But we're really looking to make sure that their concentric looks closer to their eccentric. So if they're coming down relatively controlled, we want to make sure that they come up the same instead of kicking out and then coming up that way.
Right.
So we try to sometimes reverse the repetition and show them, hey, these look totally different from each other.
Right.
Make them realize it and then work on correcting it.
Who's up?
That'd be me.
I was just trying to ask him a question before he squatted. I keep asking him questions as he's coming off the squat.
And I'm like,
and he can barely breathe.
This is my thoughts on that issue.
Where are you from originally, Bryce?
Southern California.
Oh my God.
Yes,
LA
Lord.
area?
Yeah,
Compton?
a little bit north.
Watts?
North Compton.
South Central?
North Compton.
You ever used to watch The Munsters?
Watch what?
The TV show, The Munsters?
Uh-huh.
My grandpa was the vampire on that show.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, Grandpa Munster.
Your grandpa was the grandpa.
That's right. So he was there, and that's where I've lived for most
Good
of my
old
life.
Grandpa Lewis.
That's right.
What about Ray Lewis?
Unfortunately,
Cousin?
No relation.
unfortunately, no relation.
That's
Carl?
weird. You look exactly like him.
Carl Lewis? Lewis and Clark. No? God damn.
Ray? No Ray.
No Ray?
Ray Lou? Bryce Lou? Come on, Bryce.
There you go.
Last one.
B-Lou.
B Lou. Bryce Lou. That ass though. Easy weight now. Come on. There
that
you
was
go.
good.
That's better depth. There you go. Keep it up. Keep getting there. Good job. Yep. 2 more.
Here you go.
My turn? Oh my God. I'm getting tired though. What do I do?
Just give up.
Just quit?
We're done.
Go back to collecting stamps.
Put the video on repeat.
Bryce gave me a lecture last night about being addicted to porn. I thought he was talking directly to me. He's like, actually, there's been some studies with people that are addicted to porn, and he creates this habit over and over again. I was like, has he been looking at my searches? Jesus Christ. God damn, it's like he's living inside my computer and my phone and my iPad. How's my glaze looking? Looking like glazed donut?
Like Krispy Kreme.
You're my oiler, according to the internet.
Slap it
Oil
on.
upper.
Yeah, I put a video of oiling yourself up. There's a video up there.
You don't want to mix oil uppers and downers. All right, last set.
Rub down, rub you up.
Second verse, same as the first.
Here we go.
Nice.
Yay!
Yeah, we finished.
Yay.
That looks good, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It'll only taken me 25 years.
Perform a squat.
Still working on it. Come on, Mike. Last set.
Keep that pressure mid-foot.
Good speed. 2 more.
Quads, go. Nice.
Good job, good set. I mentioned to Bryce earlier, I said, Jesse's in town. I said he's with his fiance. He goes, Katy Hogan? Said it like a little too fast. Like, huh? Yeah.
Well, I'll give a little backstory here.
Well, this is gonna have to be good. I get this all the time. Go ahead.
So
yeah, this is good, but it's normal at the same time.
I emailed Kelly Starrett a question like way back, and it was I coached volleyball for quite a while, and he called me, and it was really unexpected to actually get a call from him, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna make a video about your question. Just want to let you know we've got a friend of a friend, Katy Hogan, who's a volleyball player.
I actually remember that.
She's got shoulders.
Yes.
So I was the one that sent in that question, so that's how I knew her. Yeah.
Okay.
And what does that have to do with
specifically request her? That's
No.
All right. Whatever you say, buddy.
Good.
All right.
Here, I'll follow you.
Last one.
Here we go.
It's tie-dyed. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Come on, Bryce. Yep. Here you go. Nice. Common courtesy is he would have just dumped the 5th one and been like, sorry guys, I can't keep up with it for today. Not used to working this hard like you guys at super training. You know, it could have been a whole thing, but now it's ruined. God damn.
You guys are so good. Please. I give.
Oh man, my back.
Let's go finish strong, Jesse.
Come on, JB.
There we go.
Bryce, what type of assistance do you use for squat? I know a pause squat's real popular, so that's probably one of them.
Yeah, we do pause variations. For low bar athletes, we get high bar in occasionally. For beginning athletes, we get leg pressing in pretty frequently. Some extra glute work. I feel like in a ton of athletes, glutes is like a real deficiency. So doing direct glute work ends up transferring really well to squats.
What would that be? Some glute bridges?
Glute bridges, glute thrusts, barbell. So you've got your back on a bench press and
Google it, YouTube it.
Yeah,
a lot easier than us showing you that.
Brett Contreras, one of the big components of that guy. Lots of squatting, like we mentioned, just competition squatting. Sometimes banded, accommodating resistance variants, but most times competition squatting.
What about, you ever have anybody mess around with knee wraps? Somebody that competes normally in knee sleeves, you ever have just to handle the overload, handle more weight, anything like that?
Not really.
About knee injury, someone with patella tendonitis, wrap up or just figure out where the problem lies and
for some of those athletes, we'll do belt squats or non-barbell variations where it's not on their back directly.
Find a variation for a while until it heals up.
Yeah, exactly. And we're fine with athletes, especially with patella tendonitis or issues like that, using knee wraps or anything else they have. But as long as it's not making it worse instead of better. Sometimes people have a tendency to train through something instead of finding a way to train around it or fix it directly.
You said you did some pause variations. What do those variations look like? You got some different...
Yeah, so sometimes we'll either pause above, drop down, and finish the lift so that we're getting some static and then the actual descent and ascent out of the hole. but mostly it's just find the bottom position, hold for a 2 count, and then come back up.
Has that worked best for you? You squat really low, so you just pause as low as you can and come back up?
Actually, this entire training cycle, I've just been doing my competition variation.
Okay.
And, you know, I think we have a tendency to feel like we need to complicate something because complicated means better.
Right.
But oftentimes just doing the competition variation alone is enough to get
Competition
huge.
variation could be reps or...
Yeah, exactly. So what I mean is your competition stance. So if you're low bar, do low bar. If you're high bar, do high bar.
I gotcha.
Whatever you do in competition, do that. And just doing that for a full training cycle. I mean, I think tons of people would be very impressed by the results coming from that alone, probably more than doing other variations. Because you're able to build the specific motor patterns and efficiency associated with that movement.
Right.
And just doing the competition variation alone once a week, even twice a week sometimes, is not enough.
You got people talking about high bar, low bar all the time, and people like are looking for like a definitive answer. But you know, what do you try to do with some of your athletes? And then also, like if someone's newer, you just tell them, hey, stick the bar wherever you can and just start squatting.
Yeah. So in a lot of ways, it's what looks best based on their leverages.
Right.
So if we have an athlete where high bar looks great and it looks like they're efficient at it, sometimes we'll say, hey, let's try low bar. If it doesn't work, let's go back to high bar. If not, it's about what's good for them. So there's no one great bar position or something. We did an informal study of the lifters at IPF Worlds this year, where
I saw that.
we watch all the footage and find out, okay, who's going low bar, who's going high bar. This is raw with sleeves at the world level. Most people settle on a mid bar position. No surprise, really, but it's mostly mid bar.
Right.
There's very few athletes jamming the bar way down, and there's very few athletes with that Olympic high bar position.
Right. Then once you have the bar down really low, it can kind of force you to do the same thing as if the bar is really high, which is kind of pitch forward a little bit, right?
Yeah, that's exactly
You
right.
get rounded over. You got like, you mentioned Lane Norton earlier.
Mm-hmm.
He'll stick the bar really low, but he's kind of leaning into his squats.
Yeah. Yeah,
So it's
plus
just-
he's got an incredibly strong posterior chain too.
Yeah, yeah, he's got a crazy strong lower back.
Yeah.
You're just trying to find a position to where you can maintain your positioning and lift the most weight, right?
Yeah, exactly. So can you brace effectively? Can you create a good shelf for the barbell? And actually one of the things we look at, so if we can just drop this down to one plate, for instance, and just take a look at Mike.
Sure.
So there's generally a small range of bar positions that's going to allow you to, as soon as you set the back angle, keep that back angle mostly the same throughout the majority of the lift.
Right.
And that's what we're looking for. So that's like a sign of efficiency is, as you're squatting, what does that back angle look like through the majority of the lift? So people that end up from here and then pitch forward like we were talking about before, that's an inefficiency. Or people that start here and then get those knees to pop forward and then come back up, that's another inefficiency. So we're looking for, as soon as you set that back angle, consistency throughout. So, you know, we can just kind of take a look from the side and see when you establish that and how it goes. No pressure. Yeah, exactly. So what we'll do is we'll take video of an athlete, pause it at a few different points, and just put a line where their back angle is. And we'll be able to see how much variation there is between when they set their back angle, the hole, and then on their way back up through the same thing. And then we can make adjustments to the bar position or where their feet are from there. That looks great, Mike.
One plate,
Up, up, up.
dominated.
Good.
There you go.
There we go.
You're in.
Whew, so it takes me a minute.
That hurt a lot?
Yeah, it hurts quite a bit, but with a wrap it helps.
It's only on this side?
Mainly just this side, yeah.
I took a picture from the back. You've got the craziest imbalance right on this side. So as you were setting your hands up, it's like a big bunch of knotted tissue right here, and it was only on this side.
Maybe he needs that little guy to punch him in the back like your front squats.
Maybe that's exactly what you need. I'm trying to pull up a picture here.
I was really trying to pull my elbow down that side a little bit more. That might have been part of it too.
Can you see the difference there on the left and right?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
So you know,
that a
I don't know what's
rhomboid?
under the surface there.
Yeah.
Terry.
A lot of things going on.
All of them.
Let me see where the bar is again? Yeah, it's still not even that low.
No.
It rides
crazy.
up.
I bet it felt all the way down there though.
Yeah, it felt super low. It's crazy. You gonna go in and do some squats?
So when you're doing pause squats yourself or with your clients,
Yep.
I see a tendency of people kind of sitting into the bottom and then bouncing and coming back out, and some people who will just kind of sit and then come back out.
Yep.
Your opinion and thoughts on that? What do you like to see opposed to have people avoid?
Generally like to see someone actually full pause at the bottom for like a 2 count, not like a I'm kind of pause and then coming back up. So a full pause and then come back up instead of utilizing the bounce. I also like to see it as a loaded position. So sometimes, especially with high bar athletes, you can just sit comfortably in the bottom there without even worrying, just kind of letting the weight sit down on you. But we want it to be a loaded position, otherwise we're not really working.
So in the case of the really high bar athletes who are super comfortable, what do? You kind of try and say go down or like 1 inch above where you normally would.
Exactly
How do you
right, yeah.
kind of attack that?
Yeah, so we'll have them pause slightly above where they're comfortable, just sitting all the way down.
Right.
Or where their natural bottom position is when they competition squat. So find that position.
Right.
Because it's oftentimes higher than where they'd be able to just sit on a pause squat.
So normally, and just so everyone clarifies this, it's supposed to be hard.
Yeah.
I see some people who are just very good at pause squats. They're like, oh, these are great, and they're bouncing out of there, or they are a high bar athlete. They'll sit there and be able to come back up. Where a lot of times when I'm trying to do it, I'm like, these are impossible.
They should be, yeah.
It should be
really hard.
impossible, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to make your training harder than the competition is. So when you get there, all that hard work pays off, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So a pause variation at a set of 5, you should be able to handle less weight with a pause versus your regular squat.
Right.
If you're doing it correctly.
Got it. Thank you. So you want to call me up so I pass the I pass inspection?
Here we go. One, 2, up. Nice. 1, 2, up. 1, 2, up. 1, 2, up. 1, 2, up.
Was that 5?
Yep. I think.
Yeah. Close enough, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
What's your take on shoes, footwear? A lot of guys are going heels, maybe because it's trendy. I'm not saying Jesse, but a lot of guys do. All 3 of you have heels. I go flats. I think Mark and Jesse both alternate. They go flats and whatever, just switching up. What do you think?
Yeah, so another case of, hey, we're curious about this question, so let's see what athletes are doing. So we took a look at IPF footage and like, what's going on at the world level. Most of the athletes were using an elevated heel shoe. I was really surprised.
Yeah.
And we looked at footage from 2012 and just this recent year's 2015 footage and kind of saw the same pattern. I know the heel shoes are getting a little bit more popular over, let's say, the last 10 years or something like that versus before. It was basically like Chuck Taylor's or nothing, But it seems that, like everything, powerlifting is getting more attention, so everything's getting more attention. Position, technique, footwear, belts, equipment, all that stuff. Generally, I think it improves positioning in a lot of athletes. Some people are having a pushback against like a super high 3/4 inch heel, and they're going with something a little bit lower, like the Reebok CrossFit ones. That's like a little bit lower. And generally speaking, the athletes with low bar position and a wider stance tend to go with a flatter shoe because you're able to get a little bit more drive through your heels, and the elevated heel shoe in some athletes, especially for low bar, has a tendency to pitch you forward a little bit more. So that makes things only worse if you're already doing low bar.
Did you look non-IPF?
Actually, we did. Yeah, we did a little bit of a survey there, and it's still split there.
Okay.
Yeah. So it
Seems like the more shit that you wear, the more likely you are to go to a flatter shoe. There's a lot of guys, plenty of people wearing an elevated heel and knee wraps, but it does cause some weirdness going on, some shifting back and forth.
Yeah.
And then obviously, like once you start getting a real powerlifting gear, the more shit that you're wearing, the more likely you are to probably wear like a flatter shoe. When it comes to like knee wraps, you can get shifty and get a little weird. When it comes to single ply, same thing can start to happen, but you still see world records set that way.
Yeah.
But then once you shift into multiply, it's like the gear is so intense. Getting shifted forward on your knees is probably just not a good idea. And most of those guys, their shin angle is pretty straight up and down, you know, so it's a different type of movement almost altogether.
Yeah. All that said, I mean, I think people are blowing it out of proportion. Like, oh, I need the Addy Powers versus the Romalios. Versus
Yeah, you don't need, the word need is not.
Right.
Yeah, you don't need,
Exactly.
you can go lift in whatever you have.
You're going to get used to whatever shoe you end up squatting in. And I think we're kind of all a little bit spoiled now with the options that we have versus the way it used to be.
Of course, I
Good
know.
old days.
What did Chad say? He squatted 800 in a pair of like Nike Free
Running
or something.
shoes. Yeah, running frees.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
His first meet, he said he had no idea what he was doing.
Yeah.
So if you're not squatting 315 currently, your problem isn't necessarily your shoes.
Sorry. I like your shoes.
But you still need the Reebok powerlifting shoe though.
Oh yeah. You need 6 pairs of them because
six or
seven
there's a lot of
pairs.
different colors and
Right.
stuff. And
I mean, that said, you know, at TSA and, you know, my own character, I like to obsess over little details and volume and intensity and you know, variations in programming and all that stuff. So we take a look at equipment, wraps, you know, belts, sleeves, shoes, all that. It's fun for us too.